Apa khabar semua? Hello, how's everybody doing? Wah, suddenly my echo came out very kuat lah. Very scary. Join us live. Sorry, I posting on my one. Tu dia. Okay, tu dia. Okay, how's everybody doing? I hope everybody's okay. Once again, thank you so much for watching the show. And remember, if you got any questions, if you're watching this beforehand, in other words, after the show is finished live, please share the show so orang semua boleh enjoy this beautiful topic that we're going to talk about. And before we continue, before we start, like usual lah, the things I want to tell you. Follow Well Vantage social media because you can get a lot of information, including TikTok. Just follow Well Vantage. Scan down here for your free financial health check, or just the code up there, and then you can find out about your well-being when it comes to your finances. That's the important part. But now is the soalan yang paling penting, is the topic at hand. Remember, if you can ask any question you want. No problem whatsoever. If you ask any question, we'll try our best to answer it. But the topic we're going to discuss is banks today. Why banks? Sebab a lot of people's moratorium and the all those things lah is coming to the end. A lot of people are getting their SMSs saying, "Oh, and hujung bulan it's over. Then next month you got to start paying." You know, so some people are back to normal in a better position where they can, I can continue with my loans. But there are some people who aren't, still in the clam kabut stage. So if you don't know how to talk to the bank, you will do the ancient traditional thing of no, which is the worst thing to do when it comes to the bank. I know that for a fact. Do not ignore banks. They all will. Yeah, no, jangan. It's like they are worse than a jealous girlfriend.
Apa itu bercakap dia pengalaman, bro.
Memang. Dalam dia pengalaman dalam. It's like
pengalaman.
Deep experience.
Luka tu masih berdarah lagi.
Memang luka tu masih berdarah. But once again, so talk to banks, a lot of people don't know how to, and because of that, they do the ancient traditional thing of ignore the phone call, and maybe they'll go away. The truth is the banks won't go away. So today we're going to teach you how to talk to banks. Or basically, remember, this is top line. Whatever we're going to give you today is top line. Whatever we're going to give you today is just tips. It doesn't mean your bank has that facility or your bank can do that for you. But there are banks who can do this. So maybe your bank has something similar. So that's what we're going to cover. All right? Cool. Okay. Now, Rafiq is there? Cool. Where do we start?
I think... okay, so like what you said lah. The favorite, I think one of the most searched and used words in the financial sphere over the past 2 years is moratorium lah.
Yeah.
Or as fondly known as Mora.
Yes, Mora.
Okay. Yeah. So basically, so if let's say you have subscribed to it, you would have, as what JJ mentioned, you would have gotten a lovely SMS from your bank informing you that it's ending soon, i.e. in a few days actually. Okay, yes. So March onwards, most of you would then have to start paying off your monthly loan as usual lah, or as what you did 2 years ago.
Yes.
Dah ramai orang dah lama tak bayar loan. So mungkin dah lupa macam mana nak bayar loan. Okay. Okay, jokes aside, what JJ said is true lah. So not everybody's financial situation has improved. Okay, so there are certain people who their financial situation sama lagi waktu PKP, their Correct. Income tak recover lagi semua kan. Correct. So they probably can't afford to pay the loans. Okay, they can't pay your loans. And even like some business owners, like I know I was surprised that one of my favorite eateries was closing down.
Oh wow!
Due to financial constraints.
Right. Yep.
Okay, financial constraints. So yeah, I messaged the owner and the owner said, yeah, kewangan lah. Kewangan. So, okay. And so cannot go eat there lah until hopefully I hope that he recovers back in the future lah.
Yeah.
He recovers back in the future, right? Okay. Yeah. So coming back to the topic at hand. Okay. So like first of all, like what JJ said is true. If you know that you're gonna have problems with regards to paying your loans as usual, do not ignore the bank. Okay.
Yes.
Not um, ignoring the bank is not going to make the problem go away.
Correct.
I'll just put it like this lah. I just put it like this. Put yourself in the bank's point of view, but I'm not talking about you lending money to people.
Yep.
Just if let's say somebody like you were trying to call your friend
Ah.
and your friend didn't pick up your call. It might be for honest reasons. They might be
Yep.
working. So then you try to call again. Still not pick up. The time because let's say the person is in a meeting, so the person then turns the phone off or like hangs up, right? So
Ah.
then you start thinking, okay, what's going on? Is this person is trying to ghost me or trying to ignore me or
Right.
whatever? And
Yep.
how do you feel at that point of time? You're pissed.
Not sedap.
Tak sedap kan? Okay.
Yes.
So put yourself in the bank's shoes, because not the bank itself, but the person that is trying to contact you, because it's not the bank that's trying to contact you. There is an
Yeah.
individual that's trying to contact you from the bank.
Yes. And the
Okay.
individual's
It-
job is to call you and talk to
correct.
you.
And a lot of people don't know that this person, if you can liaise with him or her, might be your best
Yep.
ally.
Yes.
when you want to
Yes.
when you want to when you want to negotiate with the bank.
Yes.
So I use the word
Yes.
negotiate lah. I use the
Yes.
word negotiate. Okay. So but if let's say you already pissed this person off, and this person then kena marah with his or her boss, right? What do you think that
And then
person,
habis.
if let's say you in the person's shoes, what do you think would happen once they finally get hold of you?
Sorry, I cannot help you. You just have to
Ah,
pay straight.
right. Correct. So that's, I think that's the first part that everybody needs to realize lah. Okay,
Understand.
it doesn't help with uh, ignoring or
Ignoring.
not ignoring the calls or not answering or basically changing your phone numbers, etc. It is not going to help. It's not going to
It's
help. I
gonna.
had
It's
I
it. It's called kicking the can down the road. It doesn't
Yeah,
mean the can goes away. The can is still there, and you're gonna eventually
correct.
click it. The
I
flows up.
actually had somebody that I helped, I think 6 years ago.
Yep.
6 years ago, she had credit card issues.
Okay.
Actually, two credit cards that were past due. So how badly it was past due? It was already at the collectors. So which is an outsourced party
Oh,
lah.
okay.
That collectors
Yeah.
who then they're calling you, they're finding you where you are, things like that. Okay, so she was ignoring the bank. She was ignoring the debt collectors. So, but like I said, these people are pros at what they do.
Yeah.
Okay, these people are pros at what I do. If you, they will know where you work, they will know where you live, so they will come there.
Yeah.
They will come there. Okay, they will come there, but they will still do things by the law. They're not gonna need. So
They-
what happened with this person? She moved jobs, moved houses every time the debt collector
okay.
found her.
You kidding me?
I'm
That one
not.
is like extra. That's extra work, way.
Correct. So every time move. Okay. So when I met her was also when just I think the debt collector finally found her new number, contacted
Yeah.
her, tak sampai tak masuk office lagi lah. Tak pergi
Yeah.
office. But what I'm gonna say is like I said lah, you try to run,
Run away.
Unless you go outside of the country, you need, then that's different lah. But if you try to live in Malaysia, because you still need to earn money to live, things like that, they will be able to track you. Sooner or
Right,
later, they will
right,
be
right.
able to track you. Okay. And for this person, what happened was, because she jumped so many times because she had to, because she was
Yep.
ashamed to go back to the work. So her career was stunted.
Right. Yeah, because you're constantly jumping. Your employers will look at you and think like you are not serious about work.
Yeah. So and she can't explain to the new employer why she left the previous job and why she's okay to get a similar salary or even a lower salary.
Right.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
what did you do and
So she gave it a try. So because I gave a talk at her company, so she
yep.
then got in touch with me, and then we had a chat lah. We had a chat. So she said, okay, this is my issue, blah 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 blah. Then I said, okay, the next time you get a call from the debt collector,
Uh-huh.
please ask them, okay, if what I need to do if I want to work out a settlement.
Okay.
Okay,
The
work
words
out a settlement.
very important there. Yep.
Yeah, work out a settlement. So she said, "Oh, but I don't have that much money." She's put some money aside lah because she does plan to
Yep.
pay off. It's just that
At the moment, don't have.
is it, at the moment doesn't have the full amount of the
Yep.
hutang lah. So then she said,
Correct.
but nanti dia minta semua macam mana? I cakap tak apa. So you ni. So then they will give you a figure. They will give you
Yes.
a figure, and they will give you a, a repayment plan.
Yes.
Okay, because the initial figure is generally the commitment. Basically, the commitment from your side saying that you're serious about this.
Okay. Okay.
Then
Okay.
then they revert to generally most of the time is a low interest or no interest repayment plan lah. But this is for if you dah sampai level that collector kejar you, it get to that level lah. Okay, so you get their offer first. Okay, this is what it is lah. Okay, uh, so she said, oh, but if let's say the amount tak cukup ni semua, then you cakap, okay, this is the amount I can pay now. So
Yep.
what can be done? That is the next step lah. Don't bagi tahu dulu. Let them come
Ah.
first. Let them come first. Okay. So okay lah. She was hesitant, but she said, okay, I'll try.
Yep.
Try. So that day itself, she actually got a call from the debt collector.
The debt. Okay.
Yeah. So she picked up. She went through the same dialogue that I told her to do, and it went well. It actually went well.
Yes.
It actually went well. So then, right after that, I got a call. So I got a call from her, and she was like so excited. She said, Rafiq, I want to tell you something. Oh, the debt collector just called. I actually did what you asked me to do.
Right.
And guess what? They reduced my balance by half.
Which is utuh, right?
Yeah, I'm not saying that this is going to happen for everybody.
No,
I'm not
correct.
gonna say.
Remember,
Yeah.
whatever we're telling you here are things that has happened, but it's not
Yeah.
a blueprint that will happen all the time. All right.
Correct.
But what we're trying to teach you here is the basic words that is very, 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 very important. So what is it? What was the thing? Settlement when the debt collector called?
So basically, she actually owed that one credit card company 17,000.
Okay.
Okay. So then the initial offer, I think, if I'm not mistaken, if she paid like, I think they asked her to pay what 6,000, 6 or 7,000 upfront initially.
Right.
Then they'll waive off the balance lah. They waive off the balance. So she would have gotten a bigger discount.
Oh.
She would have gotten a bigger discount if she had the money. If she had the money to settle it off once and for all.
Right. But she didn't lah.
But she
still,
didn't. She didn't.
Yeah.
So she said, oh, what I have was only 4K. So they said, it's okay. 4K, then the remaining about 4,800 you pay in 2 years. So 200 a month.
Which is okay, but
Yeah, which is okay.
that is affordable. That's
Yeah.
affordable. Okay, cool.
And after that, because she dah settle, so she tak payah takut dah, her
Ah.
career actually finally progress.
Yeah lah, because you're no longer looking. Technically, that is like a financial fugitive. She was like a
Yeah.
financial fugitive waiting for Tommy Lee Jones to show up and going check every outhouse. I
Yeah,
know I'm referencing a
I
very old
wonder how
movie.
many how many, yeah, I was going to say how many of the people that are going to be watching this, right, would understand the reference to Tommy Lee Jones lah.
Yeah, if you understand that, we all know your age, okay, everybody, and we're proud of you. Anyway, so that is for credit card, all right. And
Yeah.
any kind of small loans where if you've gone to the collectors already, because correct me if I'm wrong, what happens here when it goes to the collectors is technically the bank has sold off your debt to collectors, correct?
Okay lah, I'm not saying it's sold off, but they've already written it off.
Yes.
So they already
Yes.
booked it in as a loss. So when they give it to the debt collectors, it's basically just trying to get whatever that they can out of it.
Yeah. Sikit-sikit lah.
Sikit-sikit. Um, so because it's actually I actually found this I think a few years back, uh, when I wasn't still in this line lah. I was still working as a consultant. I found it when
Right.
one my client was a bank lah. My client was a bank. So obviously banks have what they call non-performing loans. Okay, and after a while, non-performing loans are actually written off. They're written
Right.
off.
Okay.
What is mean from written off is written off from the books, means that it's wiped from the accounts,
Okay.
but
But
it's not wiped from the database.
yes. So what does that
Ah,
mean?
okay. So when it's not in the accounts anymore, so
Yeah.
it doesn't appear as an asset or whatever already lah for the bank, because they're not expecting the money back. Okay,
Right.
but
Oh, in other
once
words,
it's already
it
wiped.
won't be in their rate in their books, in their accountings.
Correct. Yeah. So
Right.
what happens is usually when they book it, okay, so this is only, so they would then show a loss there, and then they would show a loss
Understand.
lah,
Understand.
because
Yep.
they will show a lot. What will happen usually is that when there is a change in management,
Okay.
when there's a change in management, like especially when a new CEO comes in, so that the new CEO will be looking at all these write-off accounts.
Right. Okay.
So then they will say, okay, let's go and get it, get some money out of it, because then it will look good on our books, because they want to show results soon, fast.
Understand.
So that,
Understand.
but
So
then
that's
every single cent that is then collected from all these written off accounts would then be a profit.
yeah. Okay. So that's why they sell it off to the debt collectors at a cheaper
Yeah.
price. Not cheaper lah. It's a lower price.
Yeah, I wouldn't
and
say, like I said, I wouldn't, like, I'm not sure whether all the banks like actually sold it off, or they actually work with the debt collectors for the,
right.
like the debt collectors actually get a certain cut if they were to collect it. Yeah, nobody wants to collect it for free, right?
Yes, correct. That's why.
Yeah.
So interesting.
So
Okay.
yeah, so that's usually the ni lah. So that is some inner workings lah. That's some of the inner workings that
Correct. But the reason why I brought that up is because a very important thing that for everybody to realize is there's already a discount to be made if you're at that stage.
Yeah.
That means there's already a chance for a discount. Okay. So it's just how much of a discount you're going to get and who are you going to talk to. Like what Rafiq said earlier, if you already annoy the fella by not picking up, then don't expect them to help you straight away. All right. But if you
Yeah.
straight away pick up and nice to them and talk to them and explain your situation, they're human beings too. Maybe they can help you out and give you a better deal than
Correct.
Yeah. You would get if you angry lah.
Yeah. So and a lot of people do not know that they can actually talk to their banks.
Right.
A lot of people do not know.
Because
So yelah, dia takut lah sebenarnya.
Betul. It's like a lot of people know you can talk with your boss, but you don't because you're scared.
Yeah,
Sama
somebody who
lah.
has power over you.
Exactly. People got power over you. You tend to be afraid to talk to them
Yeah,
because you always believe you're at disadvantage, and they are just gonna demand, and then you have to bow kowtow and just do. But
yeah.
that's the
So
fear people have with banks.
and to be honest, right, this is something that I
Yep.
learned when I was still a student, when I was still
Right.
studying in the States.
Right.
So it's something that I had to learn out of necessity. Not because I wanted to learn about it. I just had to learn out of necessity because I did say in the last show that I was going to share also like money, and it's currently linked lah
Correct.
with the topic here.
Correct.
Is being young, I knew how to make money. I knew how to spend money, but I didn't understand this whole mechanism about credit at that point of
Right.
time. And for
Right.
those who studied in the US, then you probably know, you tak apply credit card pun credit card datang.
It just appears. It's like, here you
Yeah, it
go.
just appears. Yeah, it just appears. And even like for somebody who was very young, like you see the movies, etc. Oh, dapat credit card. So it was like a status symbol lah.
Exactly.
Right.
And then you go around. And don't worry, tonight on me, che. So you
Ha.
can just drop the card. Konon lah.
All right. But the thing is, for me, in my first 2 years there, I was working. So I
Right.
was working. I was spending everything up to what I was earning. So it wasn't an issue.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
But third year, I actually made the decision to focus on my studies and not work. Not to say I didn't focus on my studies the first 2 years, lah, but I took
Correct.
the maximum amount of classes that I could have taken. So I didn't have time
Right.
for working. I
Work.
didn't have
Yeah.
time
Yeah.
for working. So, but the thing is, my expenses didn't go down. I was still
Oh, okay.
spending as if I was working. Okay,
Right. Okay.
and it
Okay.
didn't take long for the bills to pile up.
Yep.
And by the end of my junior year there, my third year there, my all my credit cards were maxed out for a total of 10,000 US dollars.
Ooh. Kali 5 that time, right? Or was it 4.5?
For 3.8,
Oh,
3.8. 2002 was
3.8. Oh
3.8.
yeah, sorry. 3.8. So that's
Yeah.
30,000. Yay.
38,000, close to 40K lah. Bayangkan you tak ada gaji,
Itulah.
tak ada apa, so you owe 38,000. What
I
a
still
lot
student
of
lagi.
students, especially Malaysian students, that I've heard before, when they get into debt, so they just go back. They just go back to Malaysia. Then the banks over there can't do anything.
Right.
I could
Right.
have done that. I could have done that,
Yep.
but I didn't because it's still a responsibility. I still spend the money, and I was taught that kalau hutang kena bayar, kan?
Okay. Which is fair. Which is fair.
So I said, okay, how do I go about settling this lah? How do I go about settling this? So then a good thing at that point of time, the level of literacy over there was much better compared to in Malaysia.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah, so I did my research and everything, and I found out like online seminars, etc., or like blogs that I could read, things like that. That okay, if you're in this situation, you can contact. There were companies that would help you nego, a la AKPK, or you can
Yep.
go and talk to the creditors themselves. And if you're confident lah, if you're
Yep.
confident.
Yeah.
So instead of using the paid services and everything, because that means have to pay extra, so I just ni lah, okay, I go and said, okay, let's give it a try. So I talked to, because there were several companies, so I had to talk to each one of them, and basically I just pointed out directly. I said, okay, I want to pay. I don't mind you not allowing me to use the credit cards anymore. Okay, I want to pay. But then I nego lah. So I will pay whatever that I've accrued up to now, including any interest, etc. Blah, blah, blah. But any future interest, I'm not gonna pay. You can put
Hey.
it, but I'm not gonna pay. I'm,
Right.
I'm, I'm not gonna pay. So the customer service is, oh, you can't do like that, sir. You have to pay. It's your obligation. Blah blah blah. So can I talk to your manager? That was what I learned lah.
Right.
So can I talk to
Yeah.
your manager?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So talk to the
Yeah. Yeah.
manager also. Like the manager said, so then I just because obviously I had I had all the cards in the deck lah. I said, okay, I'm an international student. I'm leaving in 1 year time. Okay,
Direct lah.
so and and I didn't even apply for the cards, kan. So now I'm want to be masuk, I want to pay, kan. So I said you can put the charges, but I will just pay up to this 10K
What
lah,
I owe.
up to
Yep.
what I owe. So then they say, okay lah, we'll put it in the systems and everything. So there will be no more charges, but all your cards will be blocked. You can cut it off,
Frozen.
blah blah blah. I say okay, no issue, no
Yep.
issue. So my 4th year, I started working again. So once I started working again, income wasn't a problem. So I was able to pay off that 10K within like 5 months.
Right.
Within 5 months, just putting as much money into the card, paying off the card as soon as possible.
Right.
Yeah,
And
and
the
I was done.
the crazy part is I bet you some people watching this going, kerja apa dia buat? 10K in 5 months.
No, you have to remember, I was a student.
Yeah, so you don't have.
So I don't have any other commitments.
Right. Correct. No,
I
agreed.
don't have
Agreed.
any
Agreed.
other
Agreed.
commitments. I was a student, and my sponsors were paying me for my accommodation
Yep.
and my
Okay.
food.
Yep.
Okay, so
Okay.
if I just stayed at the university, went for my classes,
All calculate.
that one we paid. So
Yeah.
whatever that I earn, if I don't spend on entertainment or other things,
Yeah.
I could
Okay.
actually put all of that money
Bayar
into paying
balik.
off my debt. Yeah, but
Exactly.
I did earn quite okay lah. I was earning $15 per hour.
Wow. People are
Yeah.
fighting for $15 per hour here now in this day and age, and you got it back then. Well done.
Yeah, so in my university student financial services office lah.
Wow.
So back then
Okay.
I already work in finance lah.
Back then it was a sign, it was a calling. All right. Before we continue, so that was what Rafiq went through and how he solved that problem. And so now you understand one of the inspirasi that he went behind becoming a licensed financial planner. But anyway, guys, if you're watching, just joining in, welcome to the show. What we're talking about today is how to talk to banks, because a lot of people's moratorium and stuff like that is coming to an end. And if your life is not back to normal, you are afraid to pick up the bank's call, especially when the SMS came in like, your moratorium akan berakhir pada 28 Februari. And then you're going, alamak, you know what I mean? And you're freaking out because you tak ada duit. So today we're going to talk about little tips and tricks or things that you can talk, certain words that you can use when it comes to talking to the bank. Okay. Before we continue, once again, follow Vantage for in social media. Go look at it. We've got all kinds of different information for you to learn because what we're trying to do is increase your financial literacy. Another very important part is scan down here. Scan. And scan that, and you get a free licensed financial pula. You get a free financial health check. Please go check it out with a licensed financial planner. They will check it. They will give you the results. That's about it. They won't discuss. They won't expand. If you want to expand and all that, just speak to them and take it further. And back to the topic of speaking to them, banks, the final frontier. These are the voyages of people who tak boleh bayar utang. Okay, so what can one person do now as soon as they got their message, right? What can they do to speak to the banks? What when it comes to, look, my financial situation has not improved. I know it's been 2 years. How do I renegotiate the loan that I have?
Okay, so first and foremost, I would say try first, because if you don't try, the answer will always be no.
Correct.
Okay,
correct.
there's no harm in trying. They're not gonna like shoot you
Yes.
basically. No, you have to pay everything back now. Okay, no,
Scary.
that's
I tell you the truth. That's in my mind. That's what was going to happen.
yeah.
It.
I understand.
So,
I understand the mindset is as such, but they know for a fact if you won't be able to do so. And in the case, so because like, okay, people are afraid, or they're gonna be bankrupted by the bank or whatever. Actually, right, if you're bankrupted by the bank, it doesn't help the bank.
Yeah. The bank don't have any money.
Correct. The bank is not going to manage. So the banks will actually be the last entity
No.
that wants you to be in a bankrupt status.
Right. Because correct me if I'm wrong, bankrupt status technically that loan is dibubarkan kind of thing, right?
Belum lagi.
Oh,
Tak
belum.
semestinya dibubarkan. If okay,
Bah.
bank will only do it if you have assets.
Okay. Because you have to sell off all your assets then because you're
Correct.
bankrupt.
Yeah.
Right.
Correct. So if you have assets, but if let's say what you owe is like the likes of personal loans, credit cards, you don't have a house under your name, you don't have any assets that they can touch, it's actually counterproductive, counterintuitive for the banks to basically say, "Hey, okay, I'm gonna bankrupt you. I'm just gonna make
Right.
life hard for you." It doesn't work. It doesn't work for them.
Okay. That is a
Yeah.
very comforting thought.
Yeah. Correct. Okay. Okay. So
Yep.
when you want to go to talk to the bank, like I said, you can ask first. So now because okay, we have moratorium, right? We had
Yep.
okay, we have. We're gonna be had in a few days.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So it's already stated if let's say in this kind of situation because it's a special situation, if you do need extension, you should be talking to your bank. It's already stated a few times already. If
Yeah,
there
but
is a
some people
need,
ignore it.
yeah. So yeah, if you ignore it, you don't notice it, then that's a problem lah. Okay.
Yeah.
So they already said okay. Some of them would give you links for you to apply. So now mostly
Yep.
online, they don't ask you to
Yep.
call because their lines
Or
are
come
going to be like.
in.
I'm pretty sure like come Monday, don't try to call the
Yep.
banks because
Yes.
a lot of people will be trying to call the banks. Okay, so most of the banks generally now have a link that you can
Yep.
go to. You have to different banks will be different. Go to, and you click the link, and then they will tell you, okay, these are the things that you need to do.
Right. Right.
So information that you need to provide, the reason why, blah 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 blah. So then they will then review your case, the cases on a case by case basis.
Right. I
Yeah.
can
So
tell
but
you. Yeah. I'm going to tell you my experience. I got a letter. The same thing lah, the SMS, but this time is for my car loan. So I literally spoke to the bank and I say,
mm,
look, I cannot pay this one. And the officer, actually went to discuss with the officer. And then the officer is like, okay, fine. We're going to send you a forms and a few forms. You fill up the few forms, send us your IC, and then we'll see what we can do. So what I did was I'm like, okay lah, good lah. But I went all the way to the bank to do this. I actually went to the bank, went see the officer, and then I got the letter. So what's in the letter is basically declaration saying, first it's a self declaration saying, look, I cannot afford it. Why you can't afford it? That's what
yeah,
basically they'll ask you. Why you cannot afford it? Then you put there either gaji kurang or business
loss
down
of
or whatever
income.
lah.
Yeah,
There's a few categories for you to take.
options.
So once you take that, you sign that, bagi. Next thing form you have to fill up is what do you owe whom? So if you got other loans, what is the price and what other things you're paying out? How much income are you getting in a month? And then just give it to them, and then they'll look at it. So yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I did, and I managed to bring down my car loan. But
yeah,
it's extended for another 3 years.
yeah. So like because for the bank is like okay, if we can still get our money back, we want to get our money back. They are okay with
Right.
extending the tenure.
Yeah.
They're okay with extending the tenure. For you also, you're okay with it reduces your monthly commitments.
Yep.
So
Yep.
technically, at this point, it will look like a win-win lah.
Yes. But actually, it's not
But
for me because
yeah,
of the interest. But
correct.
it's still a win-win because in the current situation, it's a win-win. Further down the line, maybe if I can clear it up in a way, I don't know what I can do.
Yeah,
I doubt I can do because the car loans is not like housing loans. It's not what's it called, the one that
It's a fixed rate.
interest or fixed rate.
Yeah,
That's
it's
the
a
word.
fixed rate.
Sorry.
It's a fixed rate
Yep.
loan. Yeah. So, but the thing is, okay. So, like what the point I was going to make at this point of time, that solution was the solution that makes the most sense.
Yes.
So let's say 2 years down the road or 3 years down the road, so your financial situation has improved,
Yep.
right? So you then do not need to go and nego with the bank. You have other solutions available to you.
Yeah. Correct.
One of it,
Correct.
you might, okay, let's engage a financial planner and see what a financial planner can do in order to restructure my whole debt situation.
Right.
I've I've literally helped a private doctor reduce her monthly repayments from 44,000 a month to 18,000 a month.
44.
Yes,
Fat.
yes,
Holy cow. Okay, that's a lot. Okay.
yeah,
Wow. To 18. Even you see the crazy part, two of those numbers, when you throw it out like that, some people like, wait, that's my whole year pay. You know what I mean?
yeah. No, but the thing
Yeah.
is that, like I said, lah, the resources that is available to you at different points of your life, different points of your career, different points of your financial situation will be
Yep.
different.
Yeah.
Okay. If
Correct.
let's say you don't have the resources to engage a financial planner, but you still need help, so now
Yeah.
Bank Negara has set up AKPK. There is
Yes.
limitation
Correct.
in terms of what can be done, but AKPKs can still help you
Yeah.
because
Another one
technically
I'm
they
gonna
are an
ask.
agency. Yeah, they are technically an agency under Bank Negara. So it's
Correct.
basically like Big Brother talking to all the small brothers, right? Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Let's say, please help this person. You want your money, right?
Yeah. Just
You
help
want your
lah.
money,
You know, kind of thing.
just help lah. But there are limitations lah. There are limitations in terms of the amounts, what they can do, what they cannot do, all that lah.
Correct. Because you see, it will be reduced, but not to a point where you think it will help you. It's like that lah. The weird part is my
Mm.
experience with the whole AKPK thing. For anyone watching and wondering, is I literally went to the bank to negotiate and talk about the problem, but their answer was go talk to AKPK and AKPK will talk to us. And I'm like, but I'm here. Why can't you talk to me?
Yeah,
It's so weird.
to be honest, there are banks who are like that. So I have a client who wanted to extend the moratorium lah, because he
Yeah.
wasn't in the right situation lah. Wasn't in the right
Yep.
situation due to illness. So
Yep.
then different banks. So there were banks that okay took his application and went with it. So basically, okay, restructure, etc. But another bank basically no, you have to go to AKPK in order to do it. So you'll find out which banks like okay we'll just take it and do it, which banks basically said no, you have to talk to AKPK
Yeah.
because we
So
say to them
next
like
month,
okay we are outsourcing this we are outsourcing this to AKPK.
honestly, next month, everyone can write a blog with about which bank is actually caring for their clients and which banks tagisa.
But to be honest, okay, based on my experience, that will actually be a exercise in futility because
Yeah.
how banks operate, they have the general guideline, but each branch operates semi-independently. So even let's say within a
Oh.
bank, you go to branch A
Yep.
and go to branch B, you get different answers. And even in the
Right.
same branch, talking to one officer and talking to another officer, you might get a different answer.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay.
I've gone through it before, and like I said, hey, no, but that branch said can.
Uh,
Why cannot?
that,
So then they said, go to that
uh,
branch.
okay. I see. It's good to know. So now everybody paham lah. Hey, once again, if you're watching this, I'm so sorry. We've been talking in depth. If you got any questions, please put it down in the comments. We'll try our best to ask any questions, and we'll answer it as best. as we can. And if you're watching this after the fact, in other words, after we've done talking live, that means you shared this with your friends. Please do share this with your friends, especially people who are worried about talking to the banks. Please leave the comments as well if you've got a question, because we can still answer it through text. We can type out the answer if you leave a comment. So, yeah. Okay. So now we've covered the banks. Talking about first, you know, when debt collectors come in already, it's just basically ask them what's your settlement account amount, and then directly telling them after they give the settlement amount, directly tell them, okay, this is the how much I have, what can we do, and work out something. So that's basically the only option you have there. Don't ignore them. The more you ignore them, the more angry they get. So please pick up your phone call. Then we move to your loans and all, which you are going to get your calls. All right, because your loans are going to come in, and if you see the it's on the 28th and you're already looking like, all about next month, no way I'm going to have enough money to pay my loans, I don't know what to do, I'll just ignore, and then fingers crossed, hopefully I will get money, you're asking for trouble. So you might as well go talk to the banks right now and see whether you can bring down how much you owe them, and work out a way. If like Rafiq said, there are places that actually allowing the extension of moratorium cewa, like really. No, no, but you just go talk to your bank, see what your bank can do. Most of the times the
Yeah.
officers are nice.
Yeah. So
So
let's
when,
say
but
if all
yeah,
fails, if all fails,
alamak.
you still have options.
Yeah. Okay.
you
Before
you still have,
all fails, I want to ask, what are the words do you when you walk in? Because sometimes I say go talk to the bank. Orang still scared, you know. So what are the words you use when it comes to the bank?
okay. So basically, one depends lah. So if let's say you have the ability to, let's say, do early settlement, so basically you're gonna the word settle has to be in that. So okay, I
Yep.
want to do early settlement, or I want to so then the banks will, they have in their SOP, so then they will calculate lah, okay, this is what it is, blah 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 blah. Okay, but in a normal situation, so basically you're going in to renegotiate. So when you renegotiate, you're basically renegotiating potentially three things only. One is
All
the
right.
amount,
Yes.
second is the interest,
Yes.
okay, third is the repayment.
Third. Right. So those are the three things you
Those are the three things.
renegotiate. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah. So depending on the loan officer, depending on the bank, so their reaction might be different lah.
Right.
So but even if let's say, okay, if let's say they reduce the interest, but the tenure is maintained, you will still get a lower monthly repayment.
Yeah. Actually, can they
Okay.
reduce the
Yeah.
interest?
Yeah. Can
What? But I thought there was
they
a
can?
BLR already. But oh, they can.
Yeah. This is a case by case basis.
It depends on the officer and the bank. Tengok muka
So
kesian
so they
kamu
have
lah.
their own leeway. They have their own leeway.
I never knew it is possible. I thought once you sign the paper, when you got the loan, that's it. That's it. Nothing else changed after that.
Yeah. So that one, if let's say you're negotiating without coming up with a new agreement, etc., or
Right.
refinancing or restructuring, whatnot lah. So you're just trying your luck, saying, okay, can I get it lowered, things like that. Okay. So it can be done, but I'm not saying that you have a high probability of getting it done. Okay. So
Understand.
most of the
Understand.
time, what's going to happen when you try to renegotiate, they'll just extend the tenure.
Yeah. That's the
They
normal thing
extend the
lah.
tenure. That's one. Two, they will reduce. But generally, the reduction of the interest will come, especially for higher rate products. So, example, credit card. So, from let's say
Ah.
18% and per annum, then they will change it to a fixed tenure loan. So, with a fixed
Ah.
rate,
Okay. Okay. Understand.
so maybe to
Understand.
six
Understand.
percent. So now you have like 5 years to pay, but it's a fixed amount.
Which is much better than
Yeah,
18%.
correct.
Which
So
which
it can happen lah.
Correct. So, which I want to remind you, if you really want to know how much you're paying the bank interest and all the in fault and all that, just for your credit card, just every end of the year, go look at the end. There's details there how much you paid them extra. Your jaw will drop on, I paid them how much for free because of interest. Your jaw will be on the floor, and then you realize I don't use this credit card buta anymore. Okay, that's a big lesson you can learn, especially if you got. It's still
pay off
February,
your
so you
credit
got
card.
last year's one. Yeah.
Pay off your credit cards within 20 days of the statement.
Yeah. Serious. Trust me
Pay
on this.
off.
Else,
Pay
it
off
will
every
build
single
up.
cent. Don't
It will.
don't
It will
don't pay
build
the
up.
minimum. So if you can
It
only
will
pay the
build up.
minimum, means that you could not afford using the card.
Correct. You shouldn't have bought it in the first place if you can't even pay
Correct.
the minimum. Yeah. Fair
Yeah.
enough. Okay. Now, what are the other options if all else fails?
Okay. So I'm not okay. Okay. Whatever that we say is not an advice, huh?
Yeah. Okay.
Whatever that we say.
Whatever we're telling, it's just tips, highlights, stories we've heard other people do, stuff like that. I'm not saying this one 100% can do. Okay. So what else?
Okay, so there was this. This was actually my first ever case in terms of debt management, helping somebody. Okay, so this person at that time, it was like 2014, no moratorium, whatever, things like that.
Yeah.
So income was still there. It's just that due to mismanagement, things like that. So a lot of things were already like belakang dah
Piled on.
tinggal lah, pile on.
Yep.
So what happened was basically, okay, we prioritize which one to settle, but at the same time, like, because there wasn't enough resources while waiting to restructure, what happened was, okay, so we paid, let's say, one loan in this month, so the next
Mm-hmm.
2 months we didn't pay that loan.
Yeah, I understand what you mean. Yeah, it's not a good thing to do, but
Yeah.
it's I've done that before too.
Yeah, because it takes 3 full months of non-payment for the bank to call you.
Correct. So you
Yeah. So,
jump around that way.
and yeah. So even for your house, you only want to have basically, if let's say worst come to worst, 2 months you don't pay, but the third month you have to pay, especially for
Yeah.
Islamic loans. Because Islamic
Yeah.
financing, if you don't pay the third month in your agreement with the bank, they can automatically charge you at the ceiling rate now,
Right. Yeah.
which is
Correct.
generally about 10 point something percent.
Yes. Correct.
So it is stated in your agreement. Tak percaya, pergi cari your loan agreement if you have
Yes.
Islamic financing and go baca.
So as soon as you miss 3, habis. Your loan, say if your loan was last time 1,004, next you know you're 1,008. Something
Yeah.
like that.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's actually, if let's say before was 4,004, it might be about 4,002.
Ooh, very fun.
Yeah,
Very
because
fun, very
because like
joy.
right now, like rate might be 3 something. So if it goes like that to
Yep.
10 something, it's 3 times lah.
Yeah. Ooh, okay. Jangan. So in other words, when you do this thing we're talking about, it's the most desperate situation, all right? Whatever this part of the discussion is for the people who are in desperate situations. I'm not saying do it when you're not. I'm saying
Yeah.
we do understand some people in desperate situations. We do not want you to have a point where you think all gloom and doom and nothing. So at least you know how to maneuver around the situation. So one of the things, like we said, remember you've got 2 months. 2 months gap before the bank calls you. So if your resources drop to you only can pay one thing at a time, make sure you prioritize which one you bayar, then you move to the next one, then next month, next one. But you got to keep that sequence betul-betul. Because as soon as you tukar or deviate and tiba-tiba like aku nak beli benda lain, habis the whole house of cards will fall down and then you're in trouble instantly.
Yeah. So
don't
that
play the
is
game.
basically, that is like what JJ said lah. It's like, if let's say worst come to worst, you can't make up all your payments. So that will at least help you buy some time
Yep.
while
Yep.
you figure out, because time, and we said it a couple of times during the show, like actually time is actually your most valuable resources.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so if you have the time, you can try to figure out a solution to your current predicament. So because the whole
Correct.
moratorium like that they've been giving for the past 2 years was actually to buy time, so
Yes.
that people who
Exactly.
lost their income or who business were affected, etc., can figure out a way out from
But not
their current
everybody.
predicament.
But not everybody figured their way out. So
Correct.
the
Yeah.
truth,
So
the truth
yeah,
of the
there
matter.
were correct. There were people who couldn't figure their way out. There were people who didn't want to figure their way out. So different,
Mm-hmm.
because everyone is different. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So is but what we're sharing here, if let's say you're one of those that are affected, there are, I'm not saying it's solutions lah, but there are still things that can be done
Yep.
in
Uh,
order to basically lessen your burden lah.
but the biggest thing, remember, AKPK is there for you to help you out.
Yeah.
Please, before you go to an along or get yourself in trouble down that path, try to go to AKPK first,
Mm.
where it's a safer place to do it. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask a different angle now, lah. This is someone who actually suddenly hit goal during the moratorium time. Suddenly, like income now is like triple the time how much he used to make. Okay, should he settle all his loans faster, or should he just okay? I just continue like normal.
I've said it before. Depends on the
Yep,
loans.
yep,
Some say okay, probably settle. Some say probably not.
yep. So it's
Yeah.
the
So
fixed
because
one. Fixed
so the
one.
high interest
Pay
rates,
early. No.
go
Yeah.
ahead. The high
Yeah.
interest rate. So if
Okay.
you
Okay.
have
Okay.
credit card loan, settle. If you have a loan with Along, settle. If you have
Yep.
personal loan, settle.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
But a housing loan, I generally don't advise
Yep.
because the rate is relatively low. So you would probably be better off putting that money to work instead of paying
Yep.
off the earning,
Yep.
especially if it's the house that you're living in, because the house that you're living in is not generating you any income. So it is technically a liability.
Correct. 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 Understand. Understand. So there you go. You all paham that. So we covered everything. But the biggest point I hope we all still understand is please answer the bank's call. Please, 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 please. You're talking to someone who's been through an experience of that I do not want anyone else to go through. So please answer that bank call and talk to them. Yes, I will admit there are some on the other side sometimes who are very hard and do not want to even negotiate and just are rude. Tapi pick up the call, just speak first, and then find out where you stand with them. It's very
Yep.
important. Okay. So anything else we should cover or highlight when it comes to banks? Because
I think like the last part is the nuclear option lah.
what is the nuclear
Applying for
option? Run away
bankruptcy.
to another country. Oh,
Applying for bankruptcy.
uh,
Like I said, it's actually not something taboo. It's actually
yeah.
not something taboo. So sometimes it just makes sense to just reset.
But what does that entitle? What does that mean when you are
Okay,
bankrupt?
so basically, once you're bankrupt, there are certain things that are taken away from you. Okay, so your
Okay.
ability to open a bank account on your own, operate a bank account on your own. So now you have to open a bank account in generally banks that is owned by the government. So most of them will
Okay.
be opening a bank account with Bank Simpanan Nasional, where your salary will be banked in there, and
Right.
automatically like money will be taken out by the Jabatan Insolvency, based on whatever rate that is agreed, and that money is then paid to your creditors.
Understand. Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
so
Okay.
it's
Okay.
about 10, 15% max.
Okay. So
So if let's say you were somebody that your debt service ratio was at 70% or 80%,
yeah,
paying like 10%, paying like
it's a big
10% or
thing. Yeah.
15% is a big difference lah.
Yeah.
Is a big difference. But you would probably also, if you have assets that can be sold, you probably will
Yeah.
lose that. So this is like say
They will
nuclear button for people who don't have assets that can be taken away from them.
understand. So you're talking about assets like houses and so that lah.
Houses, cars, whatever lah, apa, barang kemas, all that. Anything that can be taken away
Everything.
from you. No lah, like
Oh
anything
wow.
that they can find their hands on lah.
Right. So like when you say barang kemas, that one it got me a bit. I'm like house all I understand, but like your jewelry and stuff, I'm like whoa. So that's what
Potentially lah,
and
potentially.
and are you like cannot travel and stuff like that if you
Yeah,
bankrupt?
you cannot travel, you cannot open a company, you cannot be a director in a company. Technically, you can travel, but you have to apply for approval to Jabatan
Right.
Insolvency Malaysia. Generally, you're allowed to travel for work, for leisure, not that much. If let's say you're bankrupt, why you're traveling for leisure, right?
Itulah.
uh,
Itulah.
but one thing, a lot of companies, this is not a lot of people, a lot of companies salah faham. Like,
Yeah.
if you ever apply a job, if you're, let's say, a bankrupt, so then they will ask you your bankruptcy status, whether you're bankrupt or not,
Yep.
right? So
Yep.
actually, you're not when okay lah. I know that in certain roles, being a
Yep.
bankrupt might affect the decisions that you make,
Right. Okay.
especially
Yeah.
finance related roles or decision
Understand
making roles.
because someone could tempt you into solving your problem with a bribe.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah.
Understand.
So,
Understand.
but that should not stop people from hiring people who are insolvent,
Yep.
because remember, these people still need to earn an income. Being a
To pay
bankrupt just
back the
means that
thing.
they made a mistake in managing their finances. That is actually
Right.
what it means. It doesn't mean that they're a bad person. It didn't
Right.
mean that
So
they committed a crime.
it's just they messed up when it comes to their finances. No, no. I I'm just trying to understand bankruptcy clearly lah. So if you declare you bankrupt, okay, and then you said the you only can open in bank simpanan, then your pay has to go there and all that. But if you cannot find a job, how you pay back? Tak ada. You just wait until you get a job lah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm just asking, not that I'm interested in it. I like my house. Okay, I'm
Yeah.
just saying.
Yeah. If
But
you have assets,
so
you do not want to be declared a bankrupt. If you still
correct.
have assets, that should be like something that you want to move away from lah.
Right. I'm gonna ask a question that sounds wrong, but I don't know whether people do it. If you move your assets to your spouse and you declare yourself bankrupt, can they take everything from your spouse?
That depends. There are people who have
Okay.
done it. There are people who that have done it, but it really depends, because there are also
Laws.
provisions in the bankruptcy laws, so that
Right.
you
They don't want
have to
people to
be
do
aware of.
exactly what I just said
Yeah,
lah.
yeah.
Okay.
So there are people who try to circumvent it and everything, but there's also like
Okay.
counter solutions lah.
Yeah. I'm just
Counter
saying
solutions.
because I bet you there are few people thought that thought, and I'm like, lebih baik aku cakap. Kalau tidak,
Yeah,
dia
yeah.
orang think
If you're thinking that, you're not the first ever person to have thought that. There
correct.
are the people
So
that have thought about that earlier than you.
correct. So I'm just saying it because in case someone wants to, maybe I just nuclear option, but move all to this one, I am safe.
Yeah.
Then bahaya lah. Okay, cool. Understood. So, guys, once again, thank you so much. Another week of good conversation, and Rafiq shared his experience when it comes to finances, the his trouble. Now you all understand both of us. had trouble in finances so before. Jangan
It's
panik.
normal.
Uh,
It's normal.
ah, it's normal.
You know,
It's
like all superheroes, right? You know
correct.
why Batman became a vigilante, a hero. His
Yes,
parents were killed.
correct. Everybody has a backstory. So
Yeah, everybody has a backstory.
everybody has done it before, and it's not a bad thing. Or if you've never gone through it, good. That means you've
Yeah,
have financial literacy from a younger age.
So if you've never had all these issues and you do not want to
Good.
have any of these issues, go watch all the videos that we've done, all the articles, all the sharing, etc., so that
Betul.
you don't make the mistakes that need. So basically, you learn from other people's mistakes.
Correct. 100% true. And all the different things that we've discussed from insurance and stuff like that. But once again, if you're watching this after the fact, please put down in the comments questions that you have or subjects that you want us to cover in our next show. We will do that very willingly. All you need to do is just put it in the comments, okay? And last but not least, don't forget to follow that up there, all the social media, even including TikTok for all your information that you can get. They do almost daily little videos and information that you can. Scan this and also that for your free financial health check with a financial planner. And if you want to take it further on after that and get some advice, can also. But once again, thank you so much for watching. Rafiq, thank you so much for sharing your expertise and helping us talk to the bank. Remember, the bank, yes, it is scary, but they still can talk to you and listen to you. And I hope all the tips helped you. All right. So, good night, everybody.
Bye. Have a nice weekend.
Have a good weekend.
Take care. Jaga SOP.
And pick up the call.